Nyusi, all the officials present here, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I take this opportunity on behalf of the people and government of Kenya and on my own behalf to express tremendous gratitude to President Nyusi for inviting me to take on this state visit. And I have taken the opportunity to thank him and government and people of Mozambique for the exceptional warm reception that has been extended to me, my family, and my delegation in this very beautiful city of Maputo. We have come to Mozambique to reaffirm the strong bonds of friendship between our nations and to express our interest in deepening and strengthening our partnership to enable us thrive now and also to prepare ourselves for the future. Mr. President,
ao país, a os colegas kenianos macondes, os povos maconde.
A cultural relationship, a societal relationship between Mozambique and Kenya, that one of the communities from this country is now a Kenyan community, and it signals the bond of friendship between our two countries. Your Excellency, coming to Mozambique, to be in Mozambique. So it is historic for me, and I'm sure for many members of my delegation. You have been gracious, Mr. President, to come to our country many times. We don't take it for granted. You have consolidated the relationship between our two countries, started by our predecessors. I know that my predecessor, President Uhuru, was here, and we've built on that foundation to make our two countries take the step to grow our relationship. Allow me, Mr. President, to take this very early opportunity to convey our deepest condolences and sympathies for what happened here with the cyclones and the effects of climate change. The people of Kenya stand with you, your administration, and the people of Mozambique in situations that are of difficulty like the ones we witnessed here. Your Excellency, we've had a wonderful interaction between us, and also to commend our officials who've done a tremendous job in building the blocks that will now form the basis and foundation for the thriving relations between our two countries. We've just witnessed various instruments that have been signed, a total of 8, that speak to the priority areas of our next phase of growth and deepening and strengthening of our relations. Your Excellency, 3 very important things stand out from what we have achieved this morning. One is the stability of our countries. The security of our countries is front and center of any meaningful nationhood. And the signing of the agreements on defense and security are significant because we are dealing with the challenge of violent extremism, terrorism, organized crime in our region and the sharing of the capacities that we have and the sharing of the experiences that we have will make our teams better prepared and more organized to deal with the challenges that comes with security in our region, because we all know that no meaningful development can take place in an environment that's not secure or in a space that's not stable. So, Your Excellency, again, I commend you, commend our teams for the leadership that has been demonstrated, and I want to commit that on behalf of the people that we look forward to cooperation in this space so that we can get rid of terrorists and criminals that are impeding our progress. Your Excellency, the other subject that is very important that has been attended to today is a subject of training and science and building capacities for all our teams in many areas, in agriculture, in the blue economy, in tourism, in the hospitality space. I want to thank Your Excellency and Mozambique for allowing many Kenyans, I'm told between 1,000 and 2,000, to work from Mozambique in many areas, including scholarships for those who want to train in the hospitality sector, because we have capacities there that we want to share. Your Excellency, we believe that this will not only build capacity in Mozambique, but it will also give us a framework that we can exploit continuously going forward to make our two countries mutually work together for the good of our citizens. The third issue, Your Excellency, which speaks to this visit, is the space around our economy, growing our economies. The Continental Free Trade Area, which we are both signatories, is consolidating the African market so that we can eliminate barriers, roadblocks, and unnecessary bureaucracy that impede movement of people, movement of goods, movement of services. And with the consolidation of the African continent as one trading bloc, Your Excellency, through the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, we have the opportunity to grow our economies using both the private sector, people who are business people, and I'm very happy that we have a big business delegation from Kenya who will be interacting with the business community in this country so that they can build synergies and partnerships that will allow trade to continue. Again, let me appreciate, Your Excellency, your undertaking to also conclude the issues around the tripartite free trade area agreement as a further mechanism of consolidating our position as a continent and improving the environment for our people to trade, to do business, to carry out their entrepreneurship. And consequently, I have very high hopes that the Kenya-Mozambique Business Forum that is going to take place here will spark a new trade and investment opportunities and unlock partnerships that will build our economies using the private sector and also leveraging on what we are doing in the public sector. I have agreed, Your Excellency, to expedite the process leading to the launch of the Kenya-Mozambique Joint Trade Committee that will again provide a framework for, on a regular basis, for the assessment of whatever challenges our teams encounter as they pursue opportunities in the business, trade, investment, and entrepreneurship space. Your Excellency, presently in Mozambique, there are, as I said, between 1,000 and 2,000 Kenyans working in the business space, professionals working in international organizations, and people who are living here as family members. I do express a lot of gratitude to you, Mr. President, for allowing these many Kenyans to be part of the Mozambique community. There are not as many as the Makonde in Kenya, but I am sure someday along the road we will be able to improve our relations so that more people from Mozambique can come to Kenya and more people from Kenya can come to Mozambique, and to appreciate, Your Excellency, that our two countries have taken the bold step to abolish visa requirements between our two countries. I know sometimes when we do this, criminals take advantage of that situation, but I'm happy that today we have agreed on how to eliminate the bad people so that we can allow the good people to use the facilities that we are putting in place, including the abolition of visa, to drive trade, to drive investment, for people to move, visit, and drive our economic opportunities. I thank you, Your Excellency, for hosting these citizens of my country. They have confirmed to me that they feel very much at home while they are here. And I was very happy to learn from you, Your Excellency, that they are making a very positive contribution to the development of your country, and I will encourage them to continue to do that. Your Excellency, because of the challenges of climate change, and we've seen the effects, not just in Mozambique, even in our region in the Horn of Africa. In the last 1 year, in the Horn of Africa, we have lost 9.5 million heads of livestock to drought. And the same effects that you feel in Southern Africa and in Mozambique in particular, we have the same ravaging effects of climate change. And I want to thank you, Mr. President, for agreeing for us to come and consolidate our position, our thoughts, and our ideas in the Africa Climate Summit that will be held in Nairobi from the 4th to the 6th of next month, as a way of Africa positioning itself, not just as a victim, but also as a place where we can provide solutions, because indeed we believe we have the necessary resources, renewable energy resources, mineral resources, and we have the human capital to provide mechanisms for solutions to climate change, including green growth and mechanisms to decarbonize industrialization and manufacturing globally using the resources we have in this continent. Your Excellency, I look forward to receiving you in Nairobi. As I told you, we would really value your input even ahead of the summit. We are going to share with you the concept notes and the proposed declaration so that we can all consolidate our ideas even as we go to the UN General Assembly and also to COP28. We have asked the presidency of COP28 to participate in the event in Nairobi so that we can begin to inform the outcome of what is going to be in UAE later this year. Your Excellency, let me conclude by congratulating Mozambique for taking up the non-permanent seat in the UN Security Council. We are very proud of the leadership that Mozambique is providing. We are happy that Kenya has worked with your team in New York. And just to confirm to you, Mr. President, as I did, that even though we supported Mozambique being the immediate former occupant of that space, Mozambique are doing better than we did. And I was telling you it's the case of the student being better than the teacher. So again, we appreciate your leadership in that space. And to speak to the global challenges around security that you have spoken to, which I fully associate with, whether it is in Ukraine or in Sudan. And Mr. President, I will brief you later on the discussions we are having under IGAD. I did speak to the President of Egypt a few days ago, and the President of Chad, and I did have an engagement with the President of Ethiopia, even as we provide leadership under the AU IGAD framework to resolve the issues in Sudan, because we believe that the conflict in Sudan is completely senseless and unnecessary. And the kind of destruction of life and property and infrastructure is not justified in any way. And the sooner that conflict comes to an end, the better. We are working collaboratively with the Jeddah Initiative, the IGAD AU framework, and also the neighbors framework under the chairmanship of Egypt, to consolidate all these initiatives. And this morning I spoke to former Prime Minister Hamdok, among the people leading the civilian groups that brings together political parties, civil society groups, women groups, youth groups, together to provide a comprehensive framework on how to resolve issues in Sudan and take the country to civilian rule, democratic civilian rule. And it is the same case, Your Excellency. In Niger, our collective position is that we support ECOWAS and the interventions that they are putting in place to make sure that we avoid and resist the slide into military dictatorships and unconstitutional removal of governments. Africa is a democratic continent, and we believe that Africa has sufficient democratic credentials to be able to manage the affairs of our countries with the legitimacy that comes from the people in democratic elections. And that is the only change of government through democratic elections that guarantees the aspirations of not just our individual countries, but the collective will of the people of this continent. And whatever means necessary that should be used to make sure that these democratic processes are sustained and maintained and protected should be brought to bear to stop those who want to use the barrel of the gun to run the affairs of countries or to manage the issues of our continent. Your Excellency, I once again thank you and the people of this great nation for welcoming us. I look forward to a fruitful visit. And Your Excellency, I'm a farmer myself, so I will suggest on what we can do, the huge resources we have in this continent. There are many people in the business delegation that we will be meeting later this afternoon who are interested in opportunities in farming, so that as a continent we can leverage on the resources that we have to make sure that our continent is food secure and use it to drive our economy. Your Excellency, again, thank you very much. My very best wishes, and God bless all of us. Asante.